It's 1 o'clock East African time. Good afternoon and welcome to Channel 1 Lunchtime News. Thanks for keeping it at Channel 1. My name is Ben Troy Njue and I will be assisted by Ann Wangeshi in the sign language interpretation. And straight to the news, a section of Narok leaders have cautioned political leaders outside the county to keep off area politics and stop inciting local communities. The leaders at the same time called on the National Cohesion and Integration Commission (NCIC) to take a decisive action against leaders inciting communities.
Speaking after a closed-door meeting which lasted for 2 hours, Narok leaders led by Narok North Member of Parliament Muitalel Olekenta alleged that some leaders were inciting some community in Narok for their political gains.
Mtu anatoka constituency yake ama anatoka kaunti yake anakuja kusema maneno ya Narok. Hawa watu ndio wanaleta shida, ndio wanakisha moto, alafu anaacha Narok kama mali pengine ama mengine yakichomeka.
The leaders called on NCIC to crack the whip on some of the outsiders who they claim were fueling animosity in the region.
Utawala iko kwa wenyewe na tunaomba ya kwamba wakitaka tukae kwa amani na hao watu heshima. Heshima tupatiwe heshima kwa sababu we deserve to be respected as the people of Narok.
On his part, Masai Council of Elder Chairman Kelena Olenchoi said issues to do with boundaries should be done through consultation but not in boardrooms or on social media.
Tumehakikishiwa ya kwamba mipaka inakaa vile tulipendekeza sisi wenyewe kama wananchi wa Narok, kama jamii ya area hii ya Narok North.
BUSIA-based non-governmental organization has launched an initiative aimed at empowering girls against gender-based violence in the area. The initiative, that was dubbed Recovery and Resilience Program, will entail, among others, life skills training.
Inola Foundation has reached out to gender-based violence victims in BUSIA and its environs in an effort to reduce the escalating number of victims in the area.
We are really fighting for gender equality. Na watoto wetu wakipata mimba, close to 80% are not going back to school. How are we going to attain the gender equality as women activists?
We're talking about a rape case in Masinde Muliro University, and we are no exception. We are here to create more awareness, to build capacity on girls and women in campus.
Program manager Nelia Sere said the initiative aims at training girls on self-defense, self-awareness, as well as empowering them with skills for financial independence in order to reduce their vulnerability.
Huwa tuna empower these women. Wakipatikana kwa hizi situations, tuko na kiti yenye angalau tuna empower business zao, tunafanyia training. Wakishajifunza tunawapatia a small amount yenye itaboost biashara zao, ndio wasije biashara ikaanguka ama labda kama hawana wanaanzisha biashara.
The area records between 25 to 50 cases of gender-based violence, which is said to be fueled more by kangaroo courts.
Hizi kangaroo courts unapata wengine wanabadilisha ati mtoto wako amekuwa defiled, unapatiwa ng'ombe moja ati jamii inasema hapana, huyu ni jirani yako ama ndugu yako. Sasa tunajaribu tunaomba watusaidie ili hizi kangaroo courts zipunguke ndio tuweze kutekeleza haki.
We're talking about a rape case in Masinde Muliro University, and we are no exception. We are here to create more awareness, to build capacity on girls and women.
For Channel 1 News, Amnesty Imano Okoth.
Moving on, the Coast Interfaith Council of Clerics is spearheading a campaign aimed at reintegrating destitute children back to their families. A sensitization program is ongoing at the location level where chiefs are trained on how to support the children during the integration process. The process has already kicked off in Malindi, Magarini, and Ganze sub-counties.
In a bid to bring up children in a family and societal moral values, Coast Interfaith Council of Clerics has decided to do a campaign for reuniting vulnerable and abandoned children with their families. Chiefs are the pivotal players in the whole exercise in ensuring the process is smooth and successful.
So we base ourselves too much with the finance.
In Kilifi County, the program is being done in Malindi, Magarini and Ganze sub-counties.
Through CIC as our local implementing partner, we have a series of sensitizing the Interior Department, the church leaders.
Sebastian Moli Muteti, Sub-County Children Officer, Magarini Sub-County, says reintegration was a phased process whereby the child, institution, the receiving families and the community at large have to be prepared adequately to accept the children.
The community is the best place for the child to learn his culture, his activities, language, and get the values of the community and the norms which are embedded in the community.
The children officer say the program called Changing the Way We Care will take time but expressed optimism.
It will take time, but we'll get there because we are in the right track with our partner in Changing the Way We Care, which is Coast Interfaith Council of Clerics.
Hemed Abdurrahman, Assistant County Commissioner for Magarini, said Changing the Way We Care program is a global strategy to ensure that children are reintegrated back to the community.
Kulingana na utafiti imeonekana kwamba kuwe na mabadiliko. Na mabadiliko haya ni kwamba huyu mtoto atolewe katika hizo nyumba za mayatima au nyumba za watoto, arudi katika jamii. Hata kama ameondokewa na wazazi, lakini kuna wale wanafamilia wa karibu au guardians waweze kumlea huyu mtoto ili apate malezi kama mtoto yule wa kawaida anapata malezi.
The program seeks to ensure children can receive support from the charitable institutions such as Children's Home, but stay with their families so as to grow up with community values and customs. Ruth Wamboy for Channel 1 News.
Elsewhere, the church has raised alarm over the surging number of PSEUDO pastors who end up fleecing worshippers. Speaking in Ogembo town during the graduation of pastors from Living Faith Community Church at Shepherd Bible Institute, the tutors expressed concern over the caliber of pastors in the churches and ministries. They termed them non or poorly trained, distorted exposition of the gospel and engaged in irrelevant comedy.
Maana tuko katika enzi za mwisho ambamo ibilisi ameinuka na mipango yake, anataka kuwapotoza wengi. Lakini sasa kulingana na ile elimu ambao tumepeana na hawa wanafunzi ambao wamefusu hapa siku ya leo, najua wengi wanaenda kutetea Injili, najua wengi wanaenda kukasifu mafundisho ya uongo. So kitu nawaomba nchi yetu ya Kenya, especially the government, nawaomba muangalie sana neno la Biblia sana, mlipe kipaumbele.
Stakeholders in Isiolo County are raising alarm about what they term as increasing cases of mental health issues in the recent years, questioning the government's commitment to adequately address the challenge. At a consultative forum that brought together psychiatric nurses, representatives of civil society organizations and religious leaders, various stakeholders said there is need to increase capacity of residents to deal with mental health challenges. They at the same time called for intensified advocacy campaigns to push for a county budgetary allocation for the mental health department during the next financial year.
Ya magonjwa ya kiakili ilikuwa tunajadiliana ni mambo gani ya haki za kibinadamu, zile watu wale wameshikwa na ugonjwa wa kiakili wanastahili kuwa zao zinaangaliwa.
This knowledge is important for you to be able to assist and support our communities with regards to mental health. I think that in itself is a sign of commitment, an opportunity to seek knowledge. So that knowledge you gain or you have gained is not only going to help others but also you yourself.
Tumekubaliana kwamba ni jukumu la kila mshikadau, viongozi wa dini, CSOs na serikali ya county na Ministry of Health kusaidiana kuhakikisha kwamba watu hawa wameelekezwa kupata dawa, kwa sababu ugonjwa wa akili tumeona ni ugonjwa kama magonjwa mengine, unaweza tibiwa. Tuweze kutoa stigma ambayo imehusishwa kwa wale watu wako na huu ugonjwa.
Elsewhere, Elangata and Kima village in Kajiado South Sub-County are celebrating the upgrading of infrastructure at the local primary school, courtesy of a non-governmental institution. Child Fund, under its Binti Shujaa program, has constructed 8 new classes and a modern girls' dormitory at the Elangata and Kima at a cost of 28 million shillings. The new dormitory has a capacity of hosting 120 girls, targeting girls only. Elangata and Kima is a public institution catering for young Maasai girls aged between 12 and 16 years.
Na nashukuru sana na ningependa hivi ndio viongozi vya kesho. Tukianza kuwapeleka saizi kwa wazee tunawaletea shida, na si kwao peke yao, hata kwetu wenyewe wazazi. Tafadhalini tuwashike mkono wasome. Kumeletwa hiyo ni boarding, tuseme tutaanzisha day na boarding ambayo itakuwa vizuri.
Sioni ni kwa nini sasa hamwezi kufanya hivyo, kwa sababu mna madarasa ya kutosha na nina hakika serikali itaongezea walimu, kwa hivyo mtakuwa na kila kitu. So next time tukikuja tunataka kuona yes, investment yetu iko na return.
At about 12 minutes past the hour, we are taking our first break, but don't go too far. When we come back, I have a very interesting story on how the FBI is using technology to fight crime.
Bwana Motiso, pikipiki yako ndio hii. Uko shwani yangu. Hii pikipiki ni unakumbuka uniekelea the lowest unique bid yako ilikuwa ngapi? 18 shillings. Na unajua kuendesha hii gari? Kidogo. Haya, kitoko yako shika helmet, kifungu yako chomoka na mali yako.
Kujiunga na QuickBid ni rahisi. Enda kwenye M-Pesa, bonyeza paybill kisha weka business number 4032353. Kwenye account weka kodi ya bidhaa unayotaka na bid yako ya chini zaidi. Kwa mfano TV 16. Kisha weka shilingi 20 tu kama idadi yako. Weka bid yako pia kwenye www.quickbid.co.ke. Kumbuka, bid ya chini zaidi ya kipekee ndio hununua. QuickBid, bidhaa bora kwa bei ya chini.
The greatest rally in the world is back in Kenya. Catch all the action of WRC Safari Rally live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1 from 24th to 27th June. See the world's best drivers navigate their machines on Kenya's rough terrain at breakneck speeds. Experience the thrills, adrenaline, drama and excitement as man and machine do battle. Don't miss out. WRC Safari Rally, live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
Welcome back and thanks for keeping it Channel 1. Moving on, residents of all Jororok and all Kalau constituencies in Nyandarua County will benefit from the construction of a 2 billion shillings worth of roads. This is after the Kenya Rural Roads Authority commenced construction of tarmac roads in the area. Speaking during the handing over exercise, all Jororok Member of Parliament Michael Mushira said the key infrastructure will improve transport within and from the agricultural rich region.
Under the roads recarpeting project, all Joro Orok constituency will get 16.5 kilometers of road upgraded, while the neighboring All Kalau constituency 27.5 kilometers of road tarmacked. The road will traverse through Boyman, Charagita, Pasenga, Silanga, Chagwe, Kwamombi, with the construction works expected to take 3 years. All Joro Orok MP Michael Mushira said the project will go a long way in ensuring timely and cost-effective delivery of fresh farm produce to the markets, with farmers enjoying better prices.
Barabara itasaidia wakulima wengi kwa sababu wale watu wanaoishi hapa ni wakulima
wakulima wa viazi, wakulima wa maziwa, na wataweza kupeleka mazao yao kwa soko.
The residents have lauded the project, urging the contractor to expedite the construction.
Tulikuwa na shida ya soko kwa sababu ya barabara, na naomba iharakishwe haraka sana kwa sababu watoto wetu, sisi wazee, wazazi, tulikuwa na shida sana.
Meanwhile, residents of Kawaro, Kahiga, Kamurungu villages, Mathioya constituency will now have access to electricity and roads after they complained of systemic marginalization for years.
Nashukuru sana kuona vile barabara yetu imeanza kufanywa kazi. Sasa tunaona sasa itatengenezwa kwa sababu hatukuwa tukipeleka watoto na wheelbarrow, wagonjwa na wheelbarrow, na sasa tunaona sasa tuko karibu kupata nini. Maram.
This is after they commenced the process of signing agreements that will pave way for connection to the last mile power connectivity project.
Sasa ile tunangojea tu ni contractor akuje ndio stima ingie. Hii shinda yote tumekuwa nayo kwa mamboma ambao wanafunzi wako wanasoma na ile koroboi hii taa ya mafuta taa.
Moving on, Kenyans are set to receive timely and more efficient services from HUDUMA centers across the nation as stakeholders chart a way forward to streamline services from different sectors. Speaking in Mombasa during the opening of a 4-day HUDUMA Kenya Service Leadership Workshop, Chief Administrative Secretary, Public Service and Gender, Beatrice Ilachi, said they are engaging different service providers on modalities to enhance service delivery to Kenyans.
Since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic in March 2020 and the introduction of health protocols, the public service had to rethink its operating procedures to incorporate virtual meetings, remote working, and service by appointment to reduce the spread of the deadly virus.
I want to announce
Chief Administrative Secretary, Public Service and Gender, Beatrice Alachi, says they are holding consultative meetings to understand the structures, rules and responsibilities of service leaders, review the service performance of various ministries, agencies and departments to ensure good service delivery.
The emergence of the COVID-19 pandemic presented new challenges in public service delivery and tested the preparedness of the service to respond to disasters while maintaining service delivery standards to the citizen. Standards should ensure the entire public service operates professionally, transparently, efficiently, and it's accountable to Mwananchi.
Elachi said recommendations will be presented to the Cabinet Secretary for implementation. HUDUMA centers across the nation have increased from 118 to 130. For Chanwan News, Amnesty Imano Okoth.
And still on service provision, the Ministry of Health has committed to increase the health workforce ratio from 16.5 to 23 per 10,000 as recommended by the World Health Organization in a bid to ease a burden of health workers in the country. Chief Administrative Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Dr. Rashid Aman, who spoke during the launch of a 5-year strategic plan 2021-2025 by the MP Shah Hospital, called for partnership between the private and public sector to ensure advancement in the country's health systems that improve the quality of life of Kenyans.
1.5 per 10,000 to 23 per 10,000 as recommended by WHO. In fact, this is one of the critical pillars of our universal health coverage program that is currently being rolled out. In this regard, we commend your contribution towards training in emergency care courses, in the COSEXA program for surgeons, and the nursing school, which the chair, I think, alluded to.
As we are all no doubt aware, the COVID-19 pandemic has stretched even the most advanced healthcare systems. It has exposed deficiencies in resources, in service delivery, integrity, financial protection, and the healthcare workforce. But it has also revealed our potential to be resilient.
This is the time we want to invest in the health sector. Everybody had realized since COVID-19, the time has changed, the world has changed, and we must focus on the health sector and the environment together.
Underprivileged learners from Baringo North constituency have benefited from 36 million shillings in bursary funds. Baringo North National Government Constituency Development Fund Chair Stanley Amdani says allocations for learners in all levels have also been increased for the 27 sub-locations who have benefited from the kitty, while 15 other sub-locations are set to receive theirs.
According to Baringo North NG CDF Chair Stanley Amdani, 25% of the funds will benefit those in universities, 30% in tertiary institutions, and 45% in secondary school. Additionally, allocations for those in day schools have been increased to at least 8,000 shillings each student per year, while those in universities and colleges will get at least 15,000 and 10,000 shillings respectively.
We have already released for 27 sub-locations. We still have another 15 sub-locations to release, which we believe we shall release in the course of next week or the week thereafter.
David Okoma, CDF Fund Manager, said they hope to have more funds for the bursary in future after upgrading of school infrastructures is complete.
We increased the amount for bursary. Last year we gave out 27 million. This year we have given out 37 million. So you can see there is an increase in bursary fund. We are looking at a situation whereby after we have even built the schools and they are well equipped, the whole CDF money will go to bursaries. There will just be education for everybody.
Rosemary Kuto, Austin Girls High School principal, lauded the move to increase allocations, saying more students will benefit.
Today, with the release of the CDF bursary funds, we are so excited that we'll have most of the students who have benefited going to be at school. This will go a long way in improving, access to education. They will be retained at school.
Further afield, law enforcement agencies say they have arrested hundreds of criminals around the world in a 3-year operation using a secure messaging app run by the American FBI. The operation, jointly conceived by Australia and the FBI, saw the app, a norm, secretly distributed among criminals, allowing police to monitor their conversations without their knowledge. Take a look.
The 3-year operation has led to arrests in 18 countries. They include suspects linked to the mafia and organized criminal groups. Drugs, weapons, and cash has also been seized. Australia said it had arrested 224 people as a result of the operation and had acted on 20 threats to kill, potentially saving the lives of a significant number of innocent bystanders. New Zealand, which detained 35 people, called the operation the world's most sophisticated law enforcement action against organized crime to date. The FBI and Europol will present more details later on Tuesday. Elsewhere, the United States has imposed visa restrictions on people accused of inciting violence in English-speaking Western Cameroon. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has said the U.S. was deeply concerned by the continued violence in the Anglophone regions of Cameroon. According to the UN, more than 3,500 people have died and 700,000 displaced since the onset of the violence. Meanwhile, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has said that several areas in Ethiopia's northern region in Tigray are on the brink of famine. In a stark warning, he added the situation would only keep getting worse unless funding was increased and humanitarian access to the region improved.
In business, the COVID-19 disruptions are still being felt in the flower industry despite a rebound, even as Kenya explores China's lucrative market in an effort to boost earnings and diversify from traditional markets. To boost sales, flower farms such as Redlands Roses have entered the Chinese market, exporting flowers to Beijing, Guangzhou, and Shenzhen.
Flower exports plunged at the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic as countries shut their airspaces and imposed lockdowns to contain the spread of the virus. But as global markets reopened, the horticultural industry rebounded. With the after effects of the COVID-19 disruption still being felt, flower farms in Kenya that previously relied on traditional market in Europe are diversifying to other new markets. Flower farms such as Redlands Roses have entered the lucrative Chinese market, exporting flowers to Beijing, Guangzhou, and Shenzhen to boost sales.
It's a very big country, so a big volume of consumers and a big volume of high acquisitive power.
Here at the Redlands Roses flower farm in Ruiru, the first of 3 daily harvest is almost complete, as there are over 200 variants of roses grown. After harvest, the flowers are taken for processing to identify quality roses for export. Early last year, when countries imposed lockdowns, airlines were forced to drastically reduce flight frequencies or even halt flying to some destinations. Most airlines have not recovered to pre-COVID frequencies. This is affecting export of flowers to some markets, as Isabella explains.
We have a very limited number of cargo planes moving from Kenya to China weekly. So this is really a major problem, is to find freight capacity. It's limiting really our growth in China.
Currently, only Southern China Airlines operates cargo freight from Kenya to China.
Elsewhere, tenda wema nenda zako, a Swahili proverb that praises voluntary good deeds. For a group of fishermen at the coast dubbed Tiwi Turtle Police, theirs is a service to humanity protecting the endangered species whose population has been under threat for years due to human activity and marine pollution.
This group of fishermen, who call themselves Tiwi Turtle Police, comprises 12 local fishermen who daily patrol 12 kilometers of the Tiwi beach looking for turtle nests and ensuring they were dug in the secured areas.
We are happy to see that the number of turtle is coming up.
In addition to securing the safety of the turtle eggs, the turtle guardians help the hatchlings find the right way to the sea after climbing out of their nests, as well as clean up plastic waste on the beach to avoid being mistaken for food by marine creatures.
And that's why we make sure that we will have to train our people, we have to train ourselves, and that was very interesting to see that in TV we have got many monitors to protect the turtles.
The endangered species have been hunted for oil, compromising their survival. So with the intervention from the self-appointed guardians, there have been 66 safe turtle nests rescued since January this year. Regina Manyara reporting for Channel 1 Business.
Technology firm Google has been fined $267 million by French authorities for abusing its advertising power. France's competition watchdog said Google has been promoting its own online advertising services to the detriment of rivals. Here are those details of that story, plus others from across the borders.
French authorities found that Google's ad management platform for large publishers, Google Ad Manager, favored the company's own online ad marketplace, Google ADX. It is not the first time that the company, owned by Alphabet, has been slapped with heavy fines for falling foul of European advertising rules. Google was fined $1.8 billion by the European Union for blocking rival online search advertisers in 2019. It was also fined $60 million in 2019 by the French data regulator, National Commission on Informatics and Liberty, for a breach of the EU's data protection rules. Meanwhile, airline bosses are urging the US and UK to allow travel to restart ahead of the G7 meeting in Cornwall. The bosses of all airlines that offer UK-US flights and Heathrow Airport issued a joint call for a transatlantic travel corridor. The group said it will be essential to igniting economic recovery. Nearly all passengers from the UK are currently banned from traveling to the US. Under a presidential decree introduced last March, non-US citizens who have been in the UK in the last 14 days cannot enter the country unless a specific exemption applies. Travelers from the US to the UK must self-isolate for 10 days on arrival, as the country is on the amber list. However, airline bosses argued travel be allowed to resume travel due to the speed of the vaccine rollout in both countries. Finally, Apple has announced a raft of new privacy protections at its annual software developer conference. They include a function called Private Relay, where users' web browsing behavior can be hidden from Apple, internet providers and advertisers. However, the feature will not be available to users in China, one of its most important markets, due to regulatory reasons. It is the latest compromise that the tech giant has made on privacy in China, where 15% of its revenue comes from. The function will also not be available in several other countries, including Saudi Arabia and Belarus.
An intense testing of cereals in local posho mills will be heightened in the coming days as the government heightens enforcement of food safety regulations. Agriculture and Food Authority Director General Kelo Harsama says increasing cancer cases in rural areas are attributed to high aflatoxin levels on cereals, especially maize and adulterated rice.
According to the Agriculture and Food Authority, most agricultural products in the Kenyan market are not fit for human consumption. The authority's Director General, Kelo Harsama, says the agency will start conducting vigorous and continuous tests on maize and other cereals at the local posho mills, especially those in rural areas. The decision is informed by high level of aflatoxin contamination of the cereals that has seen an increase in cancer cases. Adulterated rice has also been singled out as the most contaminated food crop in the country's market. The regulator says unscrupulous traders have been mixing local produced rice with illegal imported rice, further compromising the rice quality and safety standards. AFA adds that more traders have been listed to import maize into the country from neighboring countries, and currently there has been an influx of the commodity into the country. As such, maize testing efforts at border entry points across the country have been stepped up to ensure only certified maize that conform to the country and the regional safety standards access the Kenyan market. Farmers have been encouraged to familiarize themselves with proper storage best practices to minimize contamination of their produce and reduce post-harvest losses that has been reducing their earnings. AFA is currently conducting sensitization meeting on food safety standards across key markets in Nairobi as it marks the World Food Safety Day. The sensitization exercise will be also carried out in key markets across major towns in the country. Ben Troy Njue reporting for Channel 1 Business.
AAR Insurance has introduced Chanjo Cover, catering for medical expenses arising from the side effects of the COVID-19 vaccine. It covers inpatient treatment and comes with a last expense benefit in partnership with Pioneer Assurance.
In early March, Kenya embarked on a COVID-19 vaccination campaign under the global COVAX program targeting health workers, security personnel, teachers, and other high-risk groups. Since the rollout of the COVID-19 vaccination program, some have complained about side effects of the jab. Some have ended up hospitalized. To cater for individuals worried about developing side effects after being vaccinated against the coronavirus, AAR Insurance has rolled out a 60-day health insurance cover after receiving the vaccine.
The need for this product arose from the information we were getting from the members of the public about fear of side effects of the vaccine, and we felt there is a need to develop a product that takes care of that particular aspect, that fear or that risk that people have in mind. And we are taking advantage of that particular aspect to be able to provide a solution to the members of the public who have apprehension around the vaccine.
The Chanjo Cover caters for medical expenses arising from the side effects of the COVID-19 vaccine and has a last expense benefit.
So between that time, if there is a problem develops, resulting from the vaccination, then the cover will take care of you in terms of medical bills up to 500,000, and God forbid if there is a death, then we will pay 500,000 as last expense.
AAR Insurance Managing Director Nixon Shigoli says vaccination is one of the most effective weapons in containing the pandemic by enhancing the ability of individuals to fight off the virus, thus reducing risk of severe illness.
Kenyans should not be afraid to get cover and to be vaccinated. As the government is working so hard to make sure that all Kenyans are vaccinated, we want to encourage you to come out, take the vaccine, get vaccinated.
A body of a middle-aged man has been found lying in a pool of blood besides Kakamega-Kisumu Highway in Elumbavo Village, Shinyalu constituency. According to eyewitnesses, the deceased was attacked by a known assailant at night while coming from a local shopping center with his girlfriend. Hayega Area Chief Gerard Murunga urged locals to report any suspicious individuals to curb cases of insecurity in the area. Investigations into the murder has begun, with the body being moved to Kakamega mortuary awaiting identification by relatives.
Nilipokuja, in fact I thought it's an accident, maybe mtu amegongwa na pikipiki, but kusongea karibu na kusikiliza ni mwanafunzi, one of our own, amekatwa kwa shingo. Na naambiwa in fact kulikuwa na vitu zake hapo, sijui alikuwa amenunua sapa, ilikuwa tu pale. Simu yake I think pia ilikuwa hapo.
Mizo langu tu ni kuambia raia wote ya kwamba maneno ya kutembea usiku kwa barabara tafadhali wakome. Watu wasichukue advantage ya kwamba tuko na curfew, wafanye madhara ambayo wamefanya kwa hiyo kijana. Ni kijana ambaye hajulikana ni wapi, na mpaka saa hizi hatukupata chochote ya kutuonyesha ya kwamba ametoka mahali fulani. Hatukupata kitambulisho ama document yote.
Livestock owners in Kitengela and surrounding areas have expressed concern over the recent increase in livestock theft in the area. Devastated farmers are concerned that the rampant livestock theft, which primarily targets sheep and goats, is carried out during curfew hours, with the stolen livestock allegedly transported by lorries.
This trend, according to locals, has become worrying as unknown assailants have recently been moving from home to home, poisoning dogs, and barely days passes before gang raid their homes. Sam Legay, a farmer in Kitengela area, is the latest victim who lost 40 sheep that were stolen from his home.
Waizi wamekuja sasa kwa sababu hakuna ile umbwa tena ambayo inasuia, ikakuja kafungua hiyo boma yangu, wakapeleka hizo mbuzi zangu. Wamepeleka mbuzi 50, mbuzi 40 imewekwa kwa gari, na hao watoto wengine ikapatikana pale kwa reli pale ukienda pale Portland.
The farmers now question how the assailants managed to load their livestock into lorries and ferry them during curfew hours without being caught by law enforcers.
Tunaomba OCS wa Kitengela watusaidie kwa sababu hii mbuzi inaibiwa wakati ya curfew.
In the last 2 months, more than 300 sheep have been stolen in Isinya sub-county alone. Only 2 culprits have since been arrested but released on bond. Isinya sub-county police commander Ben Tangulo has said the matter has been taken up for the further investigations to ensure culprits are brought to book.
And still on security matters, traders at KOPERE Trading Center in Muhoroni Sub-County, Kisumu County, are up in arms over a spate of crime at the center that they claim has adversely affected their businesses. The traders claim that they have known no peace over the last 3 months and that efforts to engage security personnel in the area and local leaders over the runaway insecurity have borne no fruits. Wycliffe of Ketch reports.
Chin Ogendo is an aggrieved dealer in mobile phones and electronic accessories at the KOPERE Trading Center in Muhoroni Sub-County, Kisumu County. His shop has been broken into twice over the last 3 months, with the burglars making away with his merchandise, but his resilience has kept him going.
Walivunja wakaiba vitu za stima, accessories mingi sana zilienda, wakaturudisha nyuma sana.
Meters away, Duncan Orieny and Cyprus Olwal registered similar complaints.
Tumekuwa na hiyo shida hapa KOPERE, si mimi wa kwanza. Wamekuwa wakifunza labda this year, hii mwaka mimi ni mtu wa nne kufunjwa duka ya nne. The other time walifunja duka zingine pale chini, wakachukua zile zilinda za gas almost around 15.
They are coming at night and they are stealing, especially the time when it is raining. When it is raining, they know there is no security.
The traders claim that they have engaged security personnel in the area, including the administration police at the nearby KOPERE police post and the rapid deployment unit, but the efforts do not seem to yield any fruit.
In this area, we had security issues regarding cattle theft. But since the COVID pandemic and the hardship, this has now turned to brokerage into shops and homes.
The traders are pointing an accusing finger at their local leaders, whom they claim have turned a deaf ear to a problem that has left them helpless. According to the traders, insecurity has become rampant at the center, with many of them now fearing for their lives, let alone the never-ending incidents of burglary.
The big problem with this particular center here is all about the residents. They know these thieves, but unfortunately enough, some people are in panic mode, afraid to expose it to the public in fear of maybe termination.
Their major appeal now is for the government to beef up security by increasing the number of police officers at the KOPERE police post to facilitate night patrols.
What the chief agreed of, which I'm not aware if they have done, is that they were supposed to, because the laxity on Nyumba Kumi, so that is the side of a chief and the security, they were supposed to organize for that one. They were actually ensure that each and every Nyumba Kumi has somebody who is represented and know who is here. If you have any visitor here, they should know.
Reporting for Channel 1 News from Kisumu County, I'm Wycliffe Okech.
Leaders at the Olomboma Culture Village have called on the Narok County government to set up an emergency kitty that would cushion them during economic downturn such as the COVID-19 pandemic time. The traders say with the drop on tourists owing to the COVID-19 pandemic, their businesses, which depends entirely on them, was affected, some even closing shop.
Community of Olomboma Culture Village, who suffered a lot during the COVID-19 pandemic time, are now hoping to continue with their business as tourists start flocking to Masai Mara. The Culture Village has about 150 people involved in Masai bead making and teaching tourists about Masai culture. Chief Simon Oletira says things had gone haywire during the COVID-19 pandemic, but with the return of tourists at the Masai Mara, life is slowly returning in the village.
For us, we depend with the tourism. Actually, we don't have a big number of support for the government, but we do depend for the tourists. But we appreciate many friends who've been visit us for several days ago.
According to the chief, each tourist parts with $7 per night for accommodation at the Manyata. He said women usually flock the village every day to sell their beads. Patricia Wedera for Channel 1 News.
In sports, we begin with Taekwondo, where Faith Ogalo, who will be making her debut in this year's Olympic Games in Tokyo, Japan, and Mary Muiruri clinched bronze medals as the 12th edition of the African Taekwondo Championship culminated in Dakar, Senegal last night. Ogalo was using the championship as part of her preparations for the Olympic Games. She will be seeking to be the first Kenyan to compete at the World Taekwondo Grand Prix after becoming the third to represent the country at the Olympics. The late Dixon Wamwiri and Milka Akinyi were the first to represent the country at the Olympic Games in Taekwondo. And Kevin Durant scored 32 points in 3 quarters to help the Brooklyn Nets cruise to an emphatic 125-86 victory over the Milwaukee Bucks and take a 2-0 lead in the best-of-7 Eastern Conference NBA semifinals series last night. Elsewhere, Novak Djokovic avoided a shock 4th-round exit at the Tennis French Open after fighting back from 2 sets down against teenager Lorenzo Musetti.
The world number 1 was outplayed early on before rallying and leading 6-7, 7-9, 6-7, 2-7, 6-1, 6-love, 4-love when the 19-year-old Italian retired injured. World number 76 Musetti, playing in his first Grand Slam main draw, was given a standing ovation as he left the... Rafa Nadal also made the last 8, beating Jannik Sinner 7-5, 6-3, 6-love. Elsewhere, Kevin Durant scored 32 points in 3 quarters to help the Brooklyn Nets cruise to an emphatic 125-86 victory over the Milwaukee Bucks and take a 2-0 lead in their best-of-7 Eastern Conference NBA semifinal series last night. The Nets, without James Harden, who had a tight hamstring, led by 49 points in the 4th quarter. The victory is their 5th double-digit win of the postseason.
For game number 3 and Green 7 at the foul line. Chris Middleton not able to get going until he missed his first.
Frederick Mwoki for Channel 1 Sports.
And the Nets win it 120.
That's all the time we had for Channel 1 Lunchtime News. Thank you so much for watching. For these plus much more, kindly check out our social media platform, including our website, that is www.kbc.co.ke. My name is Ben Troy Njue. My co-anchor has been Anne Wangeshi. Do have yourself a blessed afternoon.
Vera Beauty College. Vera Beauty and Fashion College, with branches in Nairobi, Eldoret, Thika, and Meru. Did you know that we are a TVET-approved institution? We offer courses in fashion design, interior design and soft furnishing, event decoration, flower arrangement, event planning, hairdressing, barbering and dreadlocks, beauty therapy, makeup, nail technology, spa massages, teaching skills, TOT, solo business management, and many more. Register now and visit our website on www.verabeautycollege.com. You can also call on 0725-923-550 Nairobi branch, 0728-087-689 Eldoret branch, 0722-227428 Thika branch, 0725-000 706 Meru branch. Vera Beauty and Fashion College, a TVET approved institution.
Bwana Motiso, pikipiki yako ndio hii. Uko shwani yangu. Hii pikipiki ni unakumbuka uniekelea the lowest unique bid yako ilikuwa ngapi? 18 shillings. Na unajua kuendesha hii gari? Kidogo. Haya, kitoko yako shika helmet, kifungu yako chomoka na mali yako.
Kujiunga na QuickBid ni rahisi. Enda kwenye M-Pesa, bonyeza paybill kisha weka business number 4032353. Kwenye account weka kodi ya bidhaa unayotaka na bid yako ya chini zaidi. Kwa mfano TV 16. Kisha weka shilingi 20 tu kama idadi yako. Weka bid yako pia kwenye www.quickbid.co.ke. Kumbuka, bid ya chini zaidi ya kipekee ndio hununua. QuickBid, bidhaa bora kwa bei ya chini.
The greatest rally in the world is back in Kenya. Catch all the action of WRC Safari Rally live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1 from 24th to 27th June. See the world's best drivers navigate their machines on Kenya's rough terrain at breakneck speeds. Experience the thrills, adrenaline, drama and excitement as man and machine do battle. Don't miss out. WRC Safari Rally, live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
Bwana Motiso, pikipiki yako ndio hii. Uko shwani yangu. Hii pikipiki ni unakumbuka uniekelea the lowest unique bid yako ilikuwa ngapi? 18 shillings. Na unajua kuendesha hii gari? Kidogo. Haya, kitoko yako shika helmet, kifungu yako chomoka na mali yako.
Kujiunga na QuickBid ni rahisi. Enda kwenye M-Pesa, bonyeza paybill kisha weka business number 4032353. Kwenye account weka kodi ya bidhaa unayotaka na bid yako ya chini zaidi. Kwa mfano TV 16. Kisha weka shilingi 20 tu kama idadi yako. Weka bid yako pia kwenye www.quickbid.co.ke. Kumbuka, bid ya chini zaidi ya kipekee ndio hununua. QuickBid, bidhaa bora kwa bei ya chini.
Tonight on KBC Channel 1.
Was it you?
He has a gift for you. Take a look. What's wrong? You said Yuko abandoned him and his mom, and that's why his mother died. Is that right?
Can you see me, Daddy? I'm on the big wheel. Can you see me, Dad? Can you see me? Dad, did you abandon me and Mom?
Peter-Shaw? Wake up! Don't scare me! Are you okay?
Tonight on KBC Channel 1.
You have killed it. The love that I had for you on that very day you married my brother.
Amaya married Cesar, and Max and Constanza are back together again because of their child.
Lucretia is capable of anything, even getting rid of anyone in her way. Like Omar.
But if Cesar is not Mr. Mauro's son, some hope has opened up for me, Caro. Because once I get to the truth, I don't know in what form or in what manner, but I will fight to my last breath for the love of Max.
I'm almost sure that those two had an accomplice here inside. Otherwise, they wouldn't have made it.
And if I don't want her near me, it's to protect her. It's for her own good.
To protect her from whom?
And then I had a grapevine, she can get it, oh yeah. Barabara wapenzi wasikilizaji, I go by the name at simply about the Prince of Rumba King. Grapevines unajua tena, oh yeah 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 yeah.
Howdy good people, it's time for some entertainment right here on Grapevine.
Hata wakifunga
tapiga sherehe.
Piga sherehe. Yeah, events are back, Miss B. Kama K, kama K, we are back on your screens. Manze, we niambie, leo tuko na my events kibao.
We only have 2 events. So chache sana, but They're amazing events that zilishika, by the way. You can't afford to miss any part of the show today because we also have an amazing artist right here on Grapevine. I go by the name Vivian Daga. You can simply just call me Miss V.
Jack Mula, the party daddy, aka your girlfriend, go my number.
And you know what this right here is?
Grapevine, baby.
What you gotta do?
Alright, we are kicking off the show with the well-celebrated Kenyan band Maroon Commandos.
Hata wewe mwanangu, amka kumekucha. Kwani hizi ndizo saa za kwenda shule. Yes, I really love that band. And kwani how old are you? Ujue wimbo?
I know
when
that
song.
No, lyrics imepotea, man. Come
anyway,
on.
guys, they were showcasing their talent on Showcase Wednesday at the Allianz Francais. Let's check it out. Let's check it out.
Oh, man.